Silver is on the edge of key support. Let's do some technical analysis today, as we always do. Plus, did the Fed get hacked? And do you hear that? Do you hear that? No, I don't hear it here. I don't hear that dog barking. Of course, if you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below. But if you're watching this live, you get to enjoy everything we do here at Good Morning Stackers, your weekdaily live show all about gold, silver, economic news, etc. My name is Joe Main. And of course, to start off the show, we do the Synchronised Slurp. That's where you grab a tasty beverage of your choice with a mug or whatever kind of thing you want to use. This one has my name on it, my face on it. I can tell that story another day. And we slurp it synchronously. The rule is it is an honor system wherever you are in the world. If you're with people or not with people, by yourself, you need to slurp it synchronously. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, almost didn't slurp there. It was a bit of a weird one. Thank you for joining me. You all got announcements this time. Yesterday I did a surprise Good Morning Stackers. So thanks to all those. I did an early morning one, had stuff to do in the morning, just in the usual time. But what we'll do here is we'll do some shout outs. Then we're going to go to gold, silver, platinum analysis, talk about silver being on the edge and talk about that key support that we need to. And we'll ask, did the Fed get hacked? Leave your comments below. But of course, we do all the shout outs and all the fun. CT, you're usually the first one in the house now. It's great to see you, CT, from the Lone Star State in Texas, living at a man. GMS, hope all are well. Thought CPM's analysis was interesting. We'll come back to that one. We'll come back to that. Just the quick shout outs. Mark, Florida man in the house. I'll get to your comment about the Fed being hacked. We'll get to all of those. We'll go back. Hazza is in the house. GMS and Black Coal is in the house as well. Great to see so many of you, and more of you will be piling on, I have no doubt whatsoever. Of course, I post this on the Reddit forums, Wall Street Silver and Silver DGen Club as well, so welcome to all of those lovely people too. And I want you to hit the big like button. Hit the like button now. It's good for the algorithm, of course. To join the GMS family, hit the big red subscribe button too. All right, funky people, we're going to take a look at silver. And of course, you know that this show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, but we'll do a little bit of a larger plug sometime in between. But let's share the screen. Time code, people. You want to know about silver on the edge. What am I talking about? Well, here is silver I'll show you on the daily time frame, priced in US dollars. $28.87 US cents as of right now. So yesterday we were in this range here, right about there, $29.30, roughly 29. No, we're actually up all the way up to about $29.50. And you know, it was looking green. It opened green. And what do I say a lot of the time? You got to watch out for the fake out. So a lot of the time on the newer timeframes, or the big timeframes like the daily, etc., and weeklies, etc., you can always find, a lot of the time you see fake outs where it heads in one direction and then it fakes you out and goes in the opposite direction. So what we did see, certainly yesterday, we're hovering around here, and then we made a play for it, got up to $29.60 US cents, and no, it was a failed move. Oftentimes from a failed move is a fast move in the opposite direction and smack down. Look at this. I had this drawn in, and that's very clear. Look, support right there, and support right there. So it was a little bit of support on the 4-hourly time frame. Support spiked below but closed above it, but no, took it out. And then I have had drawn in, as of, was it yesterday or the day before, I had drawn in this little area right here of $28.80 US cents. Why? Because it was a previous area of resistance here and a previous area of support. And I just said, for me, this is the final line in the sand that we need to hold. And if we don't hold that, then I go from 70% to 80, and I think I said 80 to 90% sure, but I'll stick with 80% sure that we hit my best buy zone. I'll show you that in just a second. But out of interest, what did we do in the last overnight? Overnight for Australia, that is. On the 4-hour time frame, we had that spike down, and then we opened, failed to break it back above support. It became resistance, and then, gee, what do you know? Gee, I'm kind of good at this, aren't I? On the lower term timeframes. Hey, say what you like about the big macro and black swan events and stuff. You can't you don't know that's coming ahead of time. But fundamentals, but technicals, I'm pretty on the money on that one. Look, a spike right down to $28.80 something cents. Right there, and support on the 4 hourly, but we've opened the day, and here's the daily. We've opened the day. We did open green. We've had that little spike. I would watch out for a potential break right here. Am I saying it's going to happen? No. But if we do close the day below this level right here of 28.80, I will probably move it to an 80% chance that we do come down to my best buy zone. What are you talking about, Joe? What the hell is the best buy zone? To my new subscribers, and I've had a bunch overnight actually, 375 total subscribers right now. Of course, I'm talking about this best buy zone. Sorry, I really need to move this. You know what I'm going to do? It's really annoying, so I'm going to do this inside to the left. There we go. Now I don't have to scroll all the way over. Here is my best buy zone. In between 28 US dollars down to 26 US dollars. Am I saying it's going to 26? No, but I will be, I'm still 70% chance that we hit at least the top end of the best buy zone. So it's a range, okay? It's a $2 range, but I think more likely than not at the moment we hit at least 28 US dollars, but it could go all the way down to there, could spike all the way down to 24.50. I don't want to see it go any lower. Extreme case, wick only, please, down to 24.50. Closing any day or week or anything like that below 24.50. Uh-oh, really bad news. Okay, but we're nowhere near there. But as I said, my little case right now, if we close today or another day below that 28.80, then I'm going to say 80% chance instead of 70% chance we hit the best buy zone. To the new subscribers, what would negate that? Of course, breaking back above this downtrend line right here, and particularly above $29.80, which is kind of, there's a confluence right here. So, for example, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, I'm just giving scenarios, of course. If, for example, this is a fake out, and we see support here at 28.80 roughly, and then we just creep up, I think you'll find some confluence of resistance at this downtrend line and this resistance level at $29.80, and that would happen at around about the 1st of the month, so the 1st of July. You never know. We could bounce here and see a few days and then come back to here. I don't know. That's just, real random thoughts there. So definitely not saying any of that's going to happen. But again, 70% chance, nearly an 80% chance if we close the day down to the best buy zone. And that could be great news for you. So, if you're looking to load up, or if you're just dollar cost averaging, fantastic. You're just averaging your cost in over time. Hopefully you got in way down in here. But even if you got into precious metals for the first time, to sort of my new subscribers and the new stackers, even if you got in around about this area, did you start buying over 31 US dollars? Have you just started buying and you buying over 31 US dollars spot price? That's okay, because you can dollar cost average. You're averaging your cost as the price goes down, as long as you're buying in regular intervals, once a week, once every paycheck, etc. So, hey, it could be good news for you that the price is going down for a bit longer. We just need to see that 28.80 hold. Otherwise, well, I'm still 70% chance that we hit there, but I'll be even more certain that we do. That is, well, no, we'll show you the relative strength index on the daily time frame, which gives me still gives me pause to think that we're definitely at least 70% there. But look, on the downward direction, and still on the downward direction, on the relative strength index, what does this mean? When you go into this period here, the higher you go, the more overbought the asset, any asset that you're looking at, is becoming. And as you go down in here, and particularly into the extremes, the more oversold in relation to the average that the asset is becoming. So you always go through periods on the daily, on the hourly, on the weekly, on the monthly, etc. You go through these periods of extremely oversold to extremely overbought. When you get into extremely overbought territory, it means that a top is probably around in. It's not exact at all, because you can spend a lot of time in extremely overbought, and prices can still pump higher. But it does suggest that a top is coming when you start to get into this general extremely overbought zone. On the opposite end of the spectrum, when you get into extremely oversold territory, again, you can spend some time there. You're getting into bottoming kind of timeframes, bottoming kind of levels, but also that depends on the time frame you're on as well. So, for example, if you look on the weekly time frame, that changes again. So you really want to be looking more on the macro than the micro. Micro is your kind of your daily and less, and your macro is kind of your weekly and your monthly and your quarterlies, if that makes sense. So watching the weekly, for example, let me show you right here. Out of interest, a quick relative strength index lesson on the weekly time frame, which is more of definitely a macro view. You went into extremely oversold, and it just touched it in July of 2022, right here. Now, this is where it went down to about $18.20 US cents. Now, interestingly, it doesn't mean it's the absolute low price, because you can see, even though we ticked back up into the normal range, it did have a week or two where it spiked a little bit below that $18.20. Technically, it found that low at $17.50. Okay, so, but that just indicates, oh, we've gone into extremely oversold on the weekly time frame. That's a very key one to watch. You don't spend a lot of time in extremely oversold on the weekly time frame on assets in general, but in silver in particular. You can see, if we go back to here, let's see, the last time it was in extremely oversold was back in, well, you know where? March of 2020. What happened there? Okay, so that's where you went into extremely oversold. So that was a great buying point right here. And if you go back here, if the black swan event hadn't occurred, so you can call this an anomaly because of the black swan event of, you know, what happened in that time frame. But the last time it went down on just fundamentals rather than a black swan was back here. And it's been actually a good number of weeks in extremely oversold back in, where are we? September of 2018, okay? But you notice, though, how it didn't break this key level of that $14 level, even though, see right here, it was in sort of normal range, that we had that spike, etc. But it came back down to meet that previous level, very key Fibonacci level, by the way, of $14. But that's, even then, it went into extremely oversold, which said, ooh, that's really interesting. We're extremely oversold on the weekly time frame, so a turnaround, you know, could be happening sooner rather than later. And we saw that, and I would posit that obviously, I think, if the Black Swan event of 2020 did not occur, you wouldn't have seen this $14 level broken. We only saw that broken for a couple of weeks because of what happened in March of 2020. Anyway, that's a quick relative strength index thing, where on the macro timeframes, you can find areas of, you know, bottoming outness and areas of topping outness, if that makes sense. So look at this, for example, we had this move all the way to extremely oversold in August of 2020. And out of interest, that's at a peak of around about nearly $30. And even though the relative strength index was moving down, okay, you'll still even see this little spike back up to that previous level there. So, but it didn't have a really higher high. It was basically like a double top right there. So it didn't have a higher high, which indicated that, because we're already in extremely oversold back here, that we needed to spend some time in the normal range and even start heading down. Okay, that's your quick little relative strength index lesson. I'll probably do a whole video on relative strength index. But as I said, on silver, that's my thing. Got to watch out and need to hold that 28.80 level right here. Otherwise, I move from 70% to 80% chance that we hit the best buy zone of $28 to $26 US dollars. That is silver. Let's take a look at gold on the daily time frame, 2,320 US dollars. Again, get your comments in right now. We're going to be talking about, was the Fed hacked? We'll talk about that Fed hack, apparently. Get your comments in, and get your comments in about anything else, your questions, etc., because I'll be doing, of course, Q&A, questions and shout outs and all that stuff after we do our topic of the day, which is the Fed hack. Gold. As I said, oh, look, we made this play. So on the daily time, sorry guys, let me go back to the daily. Thanks for your patience. Right here. Wow, what do you know? Gee, we've been talking about this downtrend line. Here, formed the downtrend line. We made the play for it. It was a breakout. The breakout became a fake out. oftentimes from a failed move to hold comes a fast move in the opposite direction. And what do you know, as I was suggesting, as it's really easy stuff to see because the market is psychology. If enough people believe that this is a key trend line, which I believe enough people would, then you might potentially see this trend line become resistance, or it's somewhere where it would need to break. And gee, we found resistance right there, and it was a failed move to break, a fast move to the downside. So we are still below the downtrend line, which still puts me in 70% chance at this stage that we hit my best buy zone in gold of 2,250, anywhere down to 2,150. Could it go lower? Yes. Might it not happen? Yes. That's why I give it a 70% chance. While we are below this trend line, hitting above this trend line and definitely breaking 2,350 would put me at a 50-50 chance. And then, as I've said, a 0%, well, 1% chance. If we break and hold to 2,400, then I give it a 1% chance that we're hitting this best buy zone. I'd pretty much say we're heading onwards and upwards from there, but we're not there yet. So 70% chance, the best buy zone. What turns that to 80 to 90% chance? I would make it an 80% chance if we break here, 2,305, close it on a daily or a weekly. 90% chance if we break and close 2,285, this level of support. But we're not there yet, so we'll stick with 70% at this stage. Did I just give you my quick levels for gold and silver? Was it that quick? Probably was. Of course, hit the big red subscribe button if you want to stay updated throughout the week, because you get a week daily live show with me. Something to keep in the back of your mind, though, we're above key support here of 2,305. We're also still above, we're holding support here on the relative strength index. I do find that to be, I won't call it predictive as such, but I do find you can use an area of support and resistance and technical analysis on the relative strength index as well. I think enough people, enough traders, etc., believe that to be the case. So I think they then place their trades accordingly. So right here, support, 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 broke it, resistance, broke above it, came back, retested support, had a spike above this downtrend line right here. So we're above that trend line on the relative strength index. Okay, but we're still finding support. But for now, still a 70% chance we hit my best buy zone. Do you disagree? Post a comment below. Do you agree? I always want to know when you agree with me, so post that comment below and go, yes, Joe, you're right. That's always good to know. That is gold on the daily. Let's take a maybe quick look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly on the relative strength index. Yeah, we went into extremely overbought. See what I'm saying about the relative strength index and stuff, okay? Definitely extremely overbought on the relative strength index, trending down, but we're still above that little support level. Okay, that's why I'm keeping it at a 70% chance, not an 80 or 90% chance. And that's all you need to know for gold for the moment. Not going to get excited for gold until I won't get excited for it until we break that 2,400 US dollar mark. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is gold. Don't forget to hit the big like button and the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Finally, we'll do platinum. Then we'll look at the gold to silver ratio. No, time code. Gold to silver ratio, because we just did silver and we just did gold. There we go. There it is. All right. We have broken back above. Like I didn't suggest it. I gave some kind of likelihood. And was that a 70% chance? I don't quite remember. I gave it some kind of likelihood that because we were ticking up on the weekly, that we might see a break very soon of the gold, of this particular downtrend line on the relative strength index. And we have seen that. Okay. I think I was suggesting on the daily. Yes, that's why. Because yesterday, if you caught the show, we'd come up to here on the daily time frame. We'd come up above this average on the relative strength index on the daily. We were just about, I think we'd almost broken that little resistance line right there. And I said, okay, that gives me pause to say we're probably going more likely heading back towards this resistance level of 80. And the more times you test resistance, the more likely it is to be taken out. So we have certainly seen that. So on the daily time frame, we've smashed back through this key resistance of 80. So this tells me as this is going up, that means gold is outperforming silver. Gold and silver could both be going down in price, or gold could be ranging, but silver's going down further. That's kind of what we've seen. So it's not that gold is going up and silver's going down, it's just gold's kind of ranging in a little range, but silver's had a bit of a dip. That's why you're seeing the gold to silver ratio outperform silver at the moment, but we're certainly there and we're above this downtrend line. So that would give me pause to say there is a good chance, and I won't give a 100% chance, but a good chance that we at least come back to test now this uptrend line. What am I talking about, Joe? Right here, big downtrend line from the peak of the gold, from the peak of gold being incredibly overvalued towards silver back in August of 2020. That's when gold was doing its huge thing after the March of 2020 thing that we all know that happened. And it formed this downtrend line eventually right here. And then we've had this uptrend line just recently through here. So I think it is more likely than not at the moment to possibly come up and test that area. Just watch out for, I will pop it right here. This is if you're trading the gold to silver ratio, and you probably don't want to be trading it on weekly timeframes anyway because of premiums and selling in and selling out. But I like to watch the gold to silver ratio for general direction of whether gold is outperforming silver, silver's outperforming gold. Watch a little resistance level right here. It's a little spike, and that's at 81.4. Man, I'm just kind of splitting hairs right now, but mainly watch out for this previous area here of 83 and this uptrend line. So could we hit there? Yeah, but I'm not going to give any major predictions. Out of interest, we are ticking back up on the relative strength index on the weekly time frame, and we've just broken, although we'd have to close the week, we've just broken the average right there. That doesn't mean it's going to stay like that. So you never know, this could be a fake out and silver starts to outperform again. But I will leave it at that for now on the gold to silver ratio. Out of interest, whoa, look at that on the monthly. Okay, so we're a few days away from closing the month. We've had this big spike in May and a very clear spike back up on the monthly time frame. Okay, we could close the month around there. Who knows? Let's find out. That is the gold to silver ratio. And finally, we will come back to platinum when it wants to do its thing for me. Platinum right here. Okay, we were in the, that's interesting, good to know range. And now technically we're right on the edge of my depression versus whatever range for platinum. That's pretty much all I've got to say for platinum. For my new subscribers, we found the support at 950. I don't want to see it break 950. If it breaks 950, we're definitely going to head down to at least my top end of my best buy zone, which is around about $900. It would butt up against this uptrend line right here. And if this uptrend line does not hold, oh Nelly, you're probably heading deep into the belly of my best buy zone. When would it likely bottom out? You could find it may bottom out here, quite potentially at previous support. That could be at $840. So watch that as a support. But anywhere down to the bottom end of my best buy zone is at $750 for platinum. But we're nowhere near there yet. I'm just suggesting that's a best buy zone. But yeah, look, we're hovering around that level. That's all I really need to say about platinum. Kind of ho-hum for platinum at the moment. Won't be excited until we break this downtrend line, and then we'll talk turkey and we'll talk higher prices. That's all I really need to say about platinum, people. We will do some, of course, what I need to do is I need to show you Perth Bullion Exchange, my brand partner, perthbullion.com. Of course that's working. There we go. perthbullion.com.au. They also happen to be one of my clients at the moment that I am teaching them the skills of creating consistently engaging social media content, particularly a YouTube channel. So head over to their YouTube channel, youtube.com/@PerthBullionExchange, or just search Perth Bullion Exchange. They've got videos that have now both had over 2,000 views each. They've got 325 subscribers and video views with thousands now. And that's just because I've taught them the skills to create consistently engaging content. So they're knocking it out of the park. But out of interest, this is their website, and they are Australia's first bullion dealer ever to offer free shipping on discount volumes. Buy over a certain amount and you get free shipping. It's ridiculous. Insured, express shipping, sign-on delivery, the whole dealio. You just buy over a certain amount, and I think the quantity is usually 20 or more. Of particularly in silver, you buy 20 or more of a particular one, and it can be less depending on the size of the metal as well. You can buy as little as, well, I say as little as in terms of quantity, but it's a lot in terms of dollar price. But you could buy 3. Now get this right. You could buy. Imagine buying. Let's see. You see the Scottsdale gold coin, right? The gold round here, the Scottsdale Gold Barbados. Any other bullion dealer, you like, oh, I've got like 15, 20 grand to spend. And you would think if you were spending, let's say, 12 to 15, if you're spending over $10,000 and you're buying like 3 ounces of gold, right? You would think that the bullion dealer that you're buying from should be able to give you free shipping if you're spending $10,000 plus, right? Give me some free shipping, right? I'm buying 3 ounces of gold. Surely you can give me free shipping. Every other bullion dealer, major bullion dealer in Australia says, no, we can't do that, sorry. Perth Bullion Exchange says, yeah, you're spending over that kind of amount. We're going to lose a little bit of our profit, but you're spending over that amount. So you buy 3 ounces of gold from Perth Bullion Exchange, you get free shipping because you qualify for the first quantity discount. So number one, you get a quantity discount for buying. So you get $10 off per ounce, and then you get free shipping too. Come on, man. This is why Perth Bullion Exchange are my preferred brand partner. And also, out of interest, if you go up here, they have a weekly sale on. It's their end of financial year sale. Go over to the search bar, type in EOFY, or just click the link below in my description or in the pinned comment, which will be there eventually. And you'll get to this area right here. For the whole week, until the end of this month, end of June, it'll be all these particular silver bars, silver rounds on sale. I think coins technically too. I think there's some face value on some of them. I could be wrong. And gold as well. There is a John Wick 1 ounce gold continental coin for $100 off. Come on. That's ridiculous. Plus, right here, you can get silver for as little as spot plus $5 per ounce. That's just ridiculous. So that's their end of financial year sale. Bear in mind, some of them are marked as scratch and dent. There's a video on that on their YouTube page. It kind of goes into what do we mean by scratch and dent, and they give you an example as well. That's my brand partner, Perth Bullion Exchange. I had to show you that. I had to do the big plug. I did it in the middle of the show. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so I'll check some comments about what we just talked about silver and the precious metals prices, and then we'll talk about the Fed being hacked, or was it hacked? And then we'll do some comments on that, and then we'll get out of here. Danny says, what's this about the Fed? We'll get to that in just a second. He says, good morning, the Don is in the house. Good morning, GMS. Great to see so many people watching live. Danny Vitt says, I'm hearing American bullion dealers are getting swamped by people pulling money from the banks and buying metals at a rate that they have never seen before. It's like something I've never seen before. I do the worst Trump accent ever. Worst impression. That could be the case. I don't know. Pete Repeat in the house. Hazard says 400 subscribers by next week. That's very quite likely, actually. By the way, I have here, which I haven't opened the package just yet, but I have in my package a giveaway for when we hit 500 subscribers, proudly sponsored by Tony Peterson, if she's in the house. Right here, Danny Lou, welcome to the show. Danny Lou, GMS. I don't think I've seen you on the show before live. That is so great to see you. If you have, I've been on the live show before. I apologize. Pete Repeat says current price to produce an ounce of silver is $17.10 US cents. I wonder where that data comes from. As I've said for a long time now, I don't believe any data, pretty much. I believe what I can see in front of me, so I can believe the live technical spot price of assets, whether they're manipulated or whether they're not. I don't know. By the big powers that be, I don't know. But I don't know. Is that true that it costs, $17.10 to produce it? Who came up with that data? Why is it that? Could they just be wrong? I don't know. But you could be right. But it's interesting to hear about. All right, people. Timecode. Did the Fed get hacked? the other day. Apparently so. And apparently there's a $500,000 ransom for 33 terabytes of information. But let's just read the article and we'll do a little bit of, possibly, is it not? It's not confirmed, but that's also, hang on, do you hear that? Do you hear that? Oh, my next door neighbor has a dog which always barks, but it's not barking right now. It's the dog not barking. We'll talk about that in just a second. But what am I talking about? Right here, we will go to, where are we? Damn it, where is it? Did hackers steal? All right, share the screen, Joe. This is from, and it's actually all over. It's all over X, as in Twitter. It's lots of news articles. I just picked this one news article, but this apparently happened. So, did hackers steal 33 terabytes of data from the Federal Reserve? You can find this on other news articles. I think it's probably on CNN and all the other ones too. But I just found this one at the sort of close to the top of the Google search. The central banking system is allegedly negotiating with the ransomware gang Lockbit to restore 33 terabytes of confidential banking data. What kind of, well, whose banking data, I'd love to know. Could this be a big deal? I don't know. The infamous ransomware gang Lockbit has added the Federal Reserve to their list of victims on its website, on its leak site, claiming it has in its possession 33 terabytes of sensitive US banking data. In the post on the leak site, Lockbit said that the authorities have until June 25th, that's actually today in US time, to pay an undisclosed amount. I heard it was $500,000, but I could be wrong. Failing which, the hackers will presumably make the leaked data public. The development comes months into the group's revival from a full disruption it suffered as a result of law enforcement takedown in February. So they got taken down in February, but apparently some of them are back. Okay, biggest hack if confirmed. If confirmed, the Federal Reserve breach would be one of the biggest banking hacks in US history. Being the central banking system of the country, the Fed operates 12 banking districts. Yes, it does. In major cities, Boston, New York, Dallas, Chicago, San Francisco, blah, blah, blah. Although, here's the dog not barking. Although the Federal Reserve has yet to issue a statement on the claim, and now I hear a dog barking in the background, Lockbit hinted at a negotiation that is apparently underway, is it or not, between the parties. Quote, "You better hire another negotiator within 48 hours and fire this clinical idiot who values Americans' bank secrecy at $50,000, the Lockbit website post said, remarking the hack contains 33 terabytes of juicy banking information containing, Americans' banking secrets. Okay. Quote from someone else, "It's pretty rare for a ransomware group like Lockbit to publicly dunk on a ransomware negotiator," says John Bambanek, president of Bambanek Consulting, a cybersecurity consulting firm. Okay. If the claim that Lockbit has stolen 33 terabytes of confidential data is true, a significant amount of financial and personal information would be at risk of exposure. Additionally, the data may have confidential details of federal operations within or outside the US border. Hello, three-letter agencies, posing a nation-state threat at the hands of foreign buyers. I would agree that would pose a large threat. Email sent to, they sent an email, to Federal Reserve's media team for comments on the claim did not elicit a response by the time of publishing the article. What's the dog not barking? On the, yes, it maybe did happen side, what's the dog not barking? The dog not barking is they haven't denied it yet. If you don't know what the dog not barking reference is to, and I'll give a quick thing, very famous Sherlock Holmes novel called The Hound of the Baskervilles. Spoiler alert, something towards the end. It's a big clue at the end that the hounds, that the owners, like the dogs weren't barking, which normally they do bark at strangers, they bark at danger. But for some reason, Sherlock Holmes noted that the dog wasn't barking. So that was kind of the tip-off that something was awry. That's the tip-off that, the person who did it. For example, so the dog not barking, you always got to look out for, when you read the news, there'll be a whole bit, this happened. You also got to ask as the contrarian, what's the dog not barking? What didn't they do? What wasn't said in the news today that probably should have? The dog not barking is the Fed hasn't denied it immediately. If it was definitely not an occurrence, they would have just gone, no, that's dumb, it didn't occur. They would have just posted something on their Twitter account very quickly. No, we completely deny this, nothing like this has happened. But they haven't denied it yet. That's the dog not barking, so that says it could be true, but fake claim possible. Quote, the Lockbits RASS, I don't know what that stands for, and its affiliates have been linked to numerous high-profile data breaches, including those at Boeing and ICBC Bank. However, not all of its claims have been verified. Okay, Vice President of the CISO advisor at blah, 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 blah. Lockbit has at least twice in the past made fake claims. Okay, so they've made fake claims in the past about breaching federal bodies, posing to have acquired sensitive federal data. Okay, so it's true that they've made fake claims before. Could be fake. Let's see. In February, the hacker group had listed a Fulton County data breach that allegedly had sensitive info, including case files from an ongoing prosecution of former President US Donald Trump. Interestingly, the group's operations were disrupted in a coordinated law enforcement seizure hours before the ransom deadline stipulated on the county. The group's leader, Lockbit Sup, said the takedown had been timed to stop the leak. Days of the blah, 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 hoax, second hoax. Okay. That's pretty much all you need to know. So they've done some real hacking and they've claimed to do some hacking, which turned out not to be hacking. What do you think? I find the dog not barking thing interesting. That's the one thing that would tell me, and post your comment below, that's the one thing that goes, that's weird. Normally you would say, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the dog barked. I'll get to your comments in just a second. So the one thing that would give me pause to say this could actually be true, well, two things. One, that they have apparently made fake claims before, but two, sorry, let me go back there. I didn't say that correctly. The one thing that would make me say that that it could be true, this is just water. There's no coffee in this. The one thing that would make me say it could be true is the fact that the dog hasn't barked, that the Fed hasn't denied it yet. And that's weird. Normally you'd go, no, that's dumb. No, nothing like this happened. Look, maybe they had to double check themselves, but they still haven't, as far as I'm aware. I haven't checked the news in the last hour. They still haven't denied it. There's no more news about it. So if you can do me a favor while we're getting comments, check if there's any more news on that yet. Have they denied it, or has it been made? Is it a fake claim? You can be my eyes and ears because I don't really want to do a whole bunch of typing and checking right now. But let's get to some comments on the Fed thing and some last comments, some last questions. And that's pretty much it. We'll get your comments and questions. I can see a couple of good questions to answer. I'll try my best. So right here, let's go back to, we'll do here, I'll do Living Adam Man's one. I'll come back to this. This is about the silver price analysis. Thought CPM's analysis of silver price to August was interesting, based on COMEX open interest for the next delivery periods range 28 to 32 before going higher in August, September. Yeah, that could be true. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Living Adam Man. He gets in, gets his comment in, then gets out. Range from 28 to 32. Well, what's 28? 28 is exactly the top end of my best buy zone. So, I think 70% chance we hit at least 28. So that would technically hit my best buy zone. So yeah, you could absolutely be right on that. Mark Florida. Now, regarding the hacking of the Fed, Mark Florida says, these are the geniuses in America that want us all to shift over to CBDCs. Yes, how is the CBDC fight going in Australia? Actually, how is the CBD fight going in Australia? Where are we with that? I haven't checked. We might do a whole topic on CBDCs. Let's see. We've done that one. Pete Repeat says the Silver Institute's World Silver Survey 2024 came out. Yes, it did. We could probably have a quick look at that. Although I do read out a lot of news that kind of analyzes itself. Probably won't do a massive analysis myself. Let's see. Jubbly Bits, back on the live show. Good evening, Stackers. Yes, because you're somewhere else in the world. Jason Ashworth says, you asking, do we hear the dog not barking? Yeah. Oh, duh. Of course. I'm saying, do you hear the dog that's not barking? Do you hear the dog? Of course you can't hear it because you can't hear a dog not barking. Now I'm going to butcher your pronunciation, and I apologize. I'm just going to say Yue. Yue. I'm going to say Yue. Hi, Joe. Do you think? Ooh. Hi, Joe. Do you think Bullion Now, Ainslie, or Perth Bullion Exchange have a better range of buyback silver? Well, I can only speak in general, I guess, because buyback silver is dependent on people selling it back to the bullion dealer at the time. So uh, that's kind of like how long is a piece of string. It's hard to say, and I haven't checked their websites recently. I didn't check to see Perth Bullion Exchange have any buyback silver. They might have some buyback 1 ounce stuff. And it also depends what you mean by better range. So that could you mean, do they have a better like lucky dip kind of range? Are you more likely if you to buy, let's say, are you more likely to get good stuff if you were to buy from Bullion Now, Ainslie, or Perth Bullion Exchange? I've worked for 2 of those bullion dealers, so I have to be careful of what I say. Plus, one of them is my current social media client as well. So I've worked for 2 of them, and I work with one of them, the other one at the moment. Look, but in all fairness, look, Perth Bullion Exchange, who I work with at the moment, they are one of my social media clients, and I've worked very closely with them, not for them, but with them. I do know that they're a new business, and I know for a fact that when they get buyback stuff in, they want to please their customers. So I do know that when they get it in, if there's something cool to be had, you're going to most likely get it. Just like with other bullion dealers, though, you don't get to choose what it is. You don't email your bullion dealer and go, "What have you got in?" Okay. I'm going to do a very separate secrets of the bullion dealers video topic. So I'll put it all together. I've sort of done little bits here and there on various episodes, but here's a little tip for you guys. Don't message your bullion dealer or call or email saying, have you got anything good in buybacks? Don't do that. Because when you ask, you're less likely to get it. The best way to get it would be going in person, being a regular customer, maybe if you're a regular online customer, and just saying like, maybe, hey, if there's something interesting in there that you think, I'd love to see it. That's all. But don't be that guy who goes, what have you got in buybacks today? Or they call up and go, what do you got in buybacks today, mate? And because when I've heard those phone calls, got anything good in buybacks today? I'm like, no, it's just, I think, it's just kind of the usual kind of stuff, when I know for a fact that there might be something juicy, but I just don't be that guy. That's sorry, a little side note there. So it really depends. When I worked at Bullion Now, we had great range of buybacks because a lot of people would sell back to Bullion Now because unlike Ainslie, for example, Ainslie don't buy back at spot price. Bullion Now and Perth Bullion Exchange both buy back at spot price up to certain amounts. So obviously, being the 2 bullion dealers that buy back at spot price, which is the highest rate of all bullion dealers in Australia, they're going to get more buybacks than anyone else. Generally, people would tend to go more to Perth Bullion Exchange or Bullion Now because they pay a higher price. Unless you're just like a dyed-in-the-wool, you love your bullion dealer and you don't want to send it over, or you're not close to one, or you don't want to ship it over, and that makes sense. Sometimes you just got to go to the bullion dealer that's closer to you, and you have to accept that lower, under spot price value. But Bullion Now will get a bucket ton of buybacks, and so there's just statistically more likely to be great stuff, and there's a lot of great stuff, and probably still is. And I know Perth Bullion Exchange, when they do get buybacks, they're going to put all the good stuff in there. They're not going to keep it for themselves like greedy. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of my answer. A little bit on the fence there, but you know what I mean. Ray says GMS. Okay, Jason says story on Cyber Daily. Okay, great. So I asked for an update, and this could be true or this could not be true. Jason Ashworth, get your words out, Joe. Story on Cyber Daily is saying it was false as the deadline passed and they did not publish any data, but data of another company. Thank you. I love my little minions right here. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. That could be true. So quite likely it's a fake one. Great, but at least we talked about it. Pete Repeat says, yeah, buybacks are random. Once people find Perth Bullion Exchange as a good dealer, it will pick up. I can tell you, and it's not just because they're my brand partner. It's not just because they're one of my clients at the moment, where I'm teaching them the skills of good, blah, blah, blah. But of course, don't take my word for it. Assume that I have a financial incentive, which I do, to say that they're a really great bullion dealer. They just happen to be a really great bullion dealer, because I'm not going to work with a client that I don't think is going to be good. And I've had long, lengthy chats with Ricky at Perth Bullion Exchange. And I love all my other bullion dealers. I've worked for a bunch of them and all that. Perth Bullion Exchange are really trying to do it right. Before the company launched, we had a chat because Ricky knew where I'd come from. Perth Bullion Exchange, Ainslie launching and growing, and also revitalizing YouTube channels, and everyone saw what I did for Bullion Now. So we had a chat before he launched, and I grilled the ever-loving out of Ricky, and I said, oh, you're a new bullion dealer. Okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. Oh, yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And it was like, yep. That's not in yet, but that's going to be part of the process. Yes. I went, cool. And then I said, and I won't talk about it specifically, but then I said, yeah, okay, what about this thing? And they went, we actually thought about that thing, wasn't sure, and we talked about it more, and they went, all right, we're going to do that thing too. So yeah, they're a great dealer as far as I'm aware, as far as I can tell, because I know them quite well. That is it, people. We've got comments and we're all done with our comments, etc. Yeah, okay, so we're going to end it here. Grab your tasty beverage. We'll do the final synchronized slurp, and then we will get another gold, silver, precious metals price analysis video live tomorrow, Thursday, and another one on Friday, because we do it every single weekday. Even when I've got stuff to do, I try and do it earlier. I'll try and let you know in more time. It was a surprise one yesterday. I'll try not to do that, but sometimes it's got to be a surprise one. That is it, people. Get your final goodbyes in and all that stuff. Grab your tasty beverage in 3, 2. Thanks for watching, people. Love your work, as always. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. You get a warm and fuzzy feeling when you do. You join the family, and also we're the winning team, because 300, nearly 400 subscribers in about 2 months worth of the show. Come on, man. We're going to be at 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's my goal. We can make it happen. Hit the big red subscribe button to do so. Join the family, join the winning team. And of course, you want to dance out to the music. Good morning, Stackers. Thank you very much for watching. Bring your
grab a tasty beverage
next time tomorrow, and we'll do the
synchronized.
And I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking. See you tomorrow.